Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh my fucking tits, guys. Oh my tits. Welcome to season 4. Season 4. That's a big one. This is like if we were a network show, if we got picked up for a 4th season, that means we're really good. Like we're Modern Family. We're staying around for we're winning Emmys, y'all. You can't win an Emmy for a podcast. Maybe one day we'll win one. I don't know if we will. Well, guys, along with what you're about to listen to, which is our first episode of season 4, we have some really exciting news. We just launched our Patreon, and I am so incredibly excited for this. We've been talking about doing something like this for so long. We really wanted to have a community for you guys to talk to each other, to get advice from each other, to have us come in and talk to you guys, but really to foster a community because we see the same people commenting on videos and sending us DMs and all of that. And we really want to connect you guys. We're like your fairy friendship godmothers. And we're being like, oh guys, hang out, talk amongst yourselves, get advice on what you want to wear tonight and all of that. But we also have so much stuff offered on our Patreon. We've got exclusive clips that are already up there right now. So if you guys sign up for our Patreon now, you are already going to be getting content. There's already content for you to consume with your eyes and your ears. And it's at patreon.com/don'tblameme. So I think you guys are really going to love it. We've got so much exciting stuff that we're going to be doing with Patreon coming out soon. So the quicker you sign up, the quicker you're in the cool kids club. And then as more things happen and more things roll out, you'll be the first to know. So it's exciting. We're pretty stoked about it here. And we have a video up on our Patreon that explains all of the different tiers and what you get in all of them. It's very long. I mean, it's not that long. It's 20 minutes. But we really go in depth with all of it. And there's more stuff. So check it out. And enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Today, did you know that you were very requested, by the way?
No.
You have been very requested. You guys are elite in YouTube world. As soon as we had Ned on, everybody's like, you got to finish. You got to get them all.
4, collect them all.
We have Keith from the Try Guys here.
I'm the third of 4. You're saving the most elusive Pokemon for last.
Yeah. Ooh, which Pokemon would he be?
Normally Eugene says he's like an Eevee evolution.
Okay.
Evolution.
Isn't he a Scorpio? Is he a Scorpio? You guys did a whole Zodiac video.
I don't know. I don't
watched
care.
It. What are you?
I'm Gemini.
Oh, okay.
And I married a Gemini. Apparently that's a big deal. We should get along?
Yeah, I'm a Leo.
Seems like it.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think Eugene likes Leos. I think he's a Scorpio, which would make sense. Because
he's either a Scorpio or a Capricorn.
Ooh, okay. That makes sense.
Because those are the words I've heard the most frequently, so they must belong to him.
His birthday is January 18th.
Oh, he's a Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Just like Mott's. Oh my God. My boyfriend's a Capricorn. It is so fun. I'm kidding. No, it is fun. It's great. It's fun. Well, guys, if you're new here, this is an advice podcast. And we're basically going to listen to your voicemails and then give you some advice. And if you want to be on an upcoming episode, our phone number is 310-694-0976.
0976.
We should have a sing-songy.
Yeah, why isn't there a
version.
song? I think every phone number with a song is a better phone number.
Yeah, because I remember
them.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're an international caller, you can't, or listener, because you can't call because you're international. I know how this works. You can record an audio message and then email it to us at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. So we're not.
Are you from the Midwest?
No, but I always say like .com, like
yeah, that's
all the
a very
time.
Midwest way to say .com.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the Midwest. So
that's a good
Minnesota,
dialect.
favorite place.
Really?
Everybody is so nice.
That's true. The Midwest is incredibly like...
And I grew up in California, so like opposite.
I don't think California is mean. It's just not overtly nice.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the South where people wave in their cars at each other.
Where are you from?
I'm from like rural Tennessee, a little town called Carthage, Tennessee.
Carthage.
2,000 person mountain town, the birthplace of Vice President Al Gore.
Oh,
no,
wow.
wait. Oh my God.
And Keith Habersberger.
I'm from
gosh.
Arkansas, the birthplace of the president.
That Al Gore was companion to.
Yes, Bill Clinton.
Mr. Bill Clinton, saxophonist. We need more musician presidents.
Al Gore used to be my celebrity crush when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember
Really?
that.
Yeah.
I forgot.
He does love I like how great Al Gore has been about the environment all the time. At this point, he should be like Bill Nye, because that new Bill Nye video where he's like just screaming obscides. Like Al Gore should be doing that too. He's like,
honestly,
I've been telling you.
Like, I just don't know why I like the idea that we needed like Bill Nye and what's the other Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm like, why couldn't it have been Al Gore? Why couldn't because Al Gore's
because they're like actual scientists.
And Al Gore is just too
Al Gore's
boring.
just a stud. He's just a stud with good morals.
Yeah.
He has such a slow speaking.
I saw
Yeah.
I saw this. I don't know why I accidentally stumbled upon this Saturday Night Live video of Al Gore where it was like he was in an alternate dimension where he won president, and everything he said in the video was still relevant today.
Oh wow. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sounds about right.
No. The world's
Sounds
ending.
about right.
Yeah.
What a good time. So I'm gonna keep traveling to other countries and just pretending that this isn't happening here. Well, how do you feel like you are giving advice?
Oh, I think I'm great at it.
Perfect. I think I'm great
I can
at it
answer
too.
all questions. I know I
Any
understand
question
all
ever.
backgrounds and all situations.
Yes.
And no, I don't know. I think, I don't know. Man, let's roll the dice here.
I'm excited.
I
think
don't
it's
give a
going
lot
to
of
be good.
advice.
And I did similar to what I did for Ned, where I ruled out lots of like underage girls asking sex questions because I thought you might not be that into answering those as much.
No.
Yeah. Well, it was a
I
good
probably
call on
don't
my
know how
part.
to advise them either.
No,
Yeah.
totally. You're like,
You
so
just said you
when
had all the answers.
You're like, so when I was a 16-year-old girl, this is what I would do.
Well, if I were a 16-year-old, well, actually, my best friend growing up, my closest neighbor was a girl. So, like, I feel like I learned a lot about girls growing up because she was essentially my sister who wasn't my sister. But I hung out with her like every day.
That's fun.
I called her house the downstairs to my house because she was down the hill.
Oh, that's
So
cute.
I'd just be like, I'm going downstairs. But that meant I was going to Casey's house.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it was
That's
funny.
so cute.
It is
Small town
very cute.
charm. Should we get started?
Hi, Megan. I'm 24 years old, and I have been with my boyfriend for about 4 years now. Everything has been super amazing with us. We live together. We have a cat together. He's a great guy, and I love him so much. A few months ago, we went through a really tough time where I found out he was on Tinder. I saw the messages on his phone. He would send like one-liners to girls, and then they would respond, and then he wouldn't say anything. It never went any further to him to like meet up with them or anything like that. When I confronted him about it, he told me he was doing it to see if he could still get a girl's attention, which I don't truly understand because he's getting my attention, but that's neither here nor there. When we were going through this, I was obviously super upset, didn't really know what to do. So I went to my friends about it and asked them for advice, which I now regret because they told me from the very beginning, they were like, you need to leave him, you need to move out, you need to find a new job, move back home if you need to, like all this stuff, like you deserve better, all this kind of stuff. And I love and appreciate that they were just looking out for me and trying to tell me what they think I needed to hear. We did get back to a semi-normal place, and my boyfriend tried and he still does try super, super hard to regain that trust and, to validate our relationship and me. And it's been amazing. Except now my friends are all like mad at me because I didn't take their advice. I I haven't asked them straight up if they're mad at me, but they don't really text me anymore. They don't reach out to me and see like how I'm doing. When I reach out to them to see how they're doing, they, give me very short answers. They do not ask about my boyfriend. And if I happen to say like, me and my boyfriend are doing great, they just like ignore it and don't say anything. And it's really sad because these are friends that I've had since I was in high school, and now they're just not being great friends, and I don't know how to fix it, and I don't know what to do, because ultimately if I stay with my boyfriend, I want him to be able to like hang out with my friends and stuff, but they all hate him, can't really do that. So I would love any advice. I've been a big fan of the podcast. I've been following you on YouTube for years and years. I know you always joke that if you give harsh advice, you're going to be losing a viewer. You will not lose a viewer with me, but I really just don't know what to do. So any advice would be great. Thank you.
Oh, that's hard. Let's skip to the next one.
I thought you had all the answers.
It was so much more complicated than I was expecting. That was like
layers,
dense.
Yeah.
It's two different problems.
My first thing is like, oh, well, what a dick. Sounds like a dick. Sounds like he's losing, but like, oh, you seem committed. And I guess 4 years and people make mistakes. It sounds like he was doing something very shitty, but that's complicated. But then you've got your friends who are like, and they're not totally wrong because he is a dick. But female relationships are more complicated.
They are.
They're a little more like, it's a lot more subtext, as I'm more reading.
Oh, there's so much. And I think like the thing is I've definitely been in this situation before, like 100%, where like I've had like my friends hate who I'm dating. And then I try like, and then if you decide you like want to like you're sticking through something or whatever, as soon as you complain to your friends, especially if it's not a mutual friend, I think it's the same thing like complaining to your parents. Like they don't forget, and they also are invested in one half of the relationship. And if they see that person has like done something to like make you really unhappy, then that's kind of what they see. And also like if you're friends, if you're not hanging out with them all the time, they can't see the fact that like, oh, you're not doing bad. You're doing so much better. And like your guys' relationship has gotten so much better. And like he's really working at it and you guys are improving as a couple. If they're not around, they can't see that. So they just think like, oh, wow, she's playing victim. Like she's still here and that kind, like, and all of that. In general, I think like it's a sign of immaturity when people, their own opinions on somebody will like infiltrate how they like, I don't know, how they treat their friends and how they treat you. Like, I think that's just super immature because at the end of the day, like I have friends whose like partners I don't like love, or I mean, thankfully one of them just broke up. So I'm like sick. Oh yeah, we're throwing a party. Granted, the new guy she's dating, I'm a little wary about. Also because it was one day she was single. Yeah, it was. It's literally
serial
a movie.
monogamous,
it's great.
maybe one of those people who just got.
No, this guy was waiting in the. He was like waiting in the curtains until like his moment to shine, and he was like, "I'm ready," and she was like, "Oh, okay."
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm living vicariously through her. She's young. It'll
like a
be
reality
fun.
show.
But I mean, but at the end of the day, it's like it's about if your friend is happy, and I think like the only time that it's okay to like continue to have those feelings and to not to cut somebody out, but to like make it like you need to do this and really like stand strong with that, is if that person is like incredibly unhappy and they're in a relationship that is like really, really, really terrible and making them feel terrible. Because as a friend, like you want your friends to be happy. You can't really understand the situation. So, I mean, I think like as much as I don't want to be like, these people aren't your friends, I think like you should have a real conversation with them in person, hopefully, and like sit down and talk to them about it, and really like stress to them that like it's really hard because like you've made this choice to continue on this relationship and work on it, which is the harder choice. It's so much harder to work through that stuff than to just break up and be done. And that's like incredibly mature thing to do. And what you need there is like, you need to have your friends who you can talk to, and you still want to be able to feel like that they're going to be happy for you. And you're not constantly having to like defend him, especially because they're not the ones dating him. I would also say therapy is fantastic if you're not in therapy, especially if you feel like you can't talk to like your friends about something. For any reason, I think talking to like someone who's totally unbiased is great, but I think you have to have a conversation with your friends. And then if ultimately your happiness is not their priority, then I think it's about finding and surrounding yourself with people who really do care about your happiness, and like regardless of if like the person you've been with has like made mistakes and all of that, because I think it's how you grow afterwards that's more important.
It's complicated.
Yeah,
because it like the friends, it does suck that they're not being friendly, but also like they are only upset because they think this person is bad for you. They think, and they have proof that he did something very untrustworthy. I guess for me, my advice would be like, do you think you're going to marry this person? Do you think you want to spend like the rest of your life? Because you shouldn't work through troubles unless you think you're going to get to a place where there won't be troubles anymore, and also you'll be together forever. Because it's especially, was she 25? 24. This is a fun time of life. It sucks to be spending a fun time of your life working through problems and also not having friends close to you. Like you should be in your 20s, like having a blast.
Yeah.
Because your body starts dying soon. So
don't say that.
It's true. Your body's going to start dying in a year. At 25,
Shut the
your
fuck up.
brain's done developing and it starts to go the other way.
No.
You can be preventative about it and keep your body healthy, but it is true. Your body stops growing and starts ungrowing at about 25 to 28. Earlier for guys, we're done at like 23 or 24. That's why
So
we're
I've been
dumber, too.
dying all year. It's not just it's been like
fine.
metaphorical.
No, I mean,
and
it's like
physical.
you're not like it's not like a ramp down. Obviously, it's a slow curve.
Yeah, I'm almost 26, so it does make sense. Everything's been declining.
But I mean, it's true.
I've
Like
been
I'm
getting
about to
better.
be, I'm about to be 32, and I definitely am like, wow. Sometimes my knees just hurt.
Oh my God, I literally told the manager today that I was like, I just feel off. Everything feels weird. Like I just feel everything about me today feels weird.
But you should have like a healthy life. I think involves a healthy close relationship, a lot of healthy like other relationships, and it sounds like you're in a place where you have conflicted relationships all around. So you just have to look and see, who do you want. Where's all this going?
Yeah, I think the last thing I'd say is I've learned over my life period in dating is that now not even now, but just in general, when I talk about like, because we all want to vent about our relationships to our friends, because like you're serving people who like typically tend to have similar mindsets as you and understand the situation, understand you and everybody in it. Talk to your friends who are in long-term relationships. When you talk to your friends who are single, like literally like in college and high school, anytime that I would like vent to like my single friends, they were like, oh, fuck that. I would never stand for that. I'm like, first of all, let's talk about this now. Flash forward all of these years. You went on like the dates with terrible guys over and over again. And like, it's just a different mindset to be in. And I've found that like now being in a long-term relationship, when I talk, like if I want to talk to my friends about like, oh, I'm really frustrated, like, I don't know, like Mott's did something fucking stupid or whatever, and I want to talk to them about it, like I'm usually going to my friends who are in long-term relationships, because they're like, oh my God, I totally get that. But if you go to a friend who's like I love my best friend Sydney. Oh my God, she will not talk shit about her. She won't talk about shit about any guys she's dated for years until after they've like years later till they've broken up. I'm like, okay, finally. But she's such a hard person to like talk about that kind of stuff to without me feeling like, oh my God, your relationship's perfect. And like, this is when you talk to somebody who's like more comfortable also like sharing and venting and that kind of thing, because I think it's a healthy thing. Because also, things that I've learned in therapy too, sometimes when your friends are saying negative things, the reason why it hurts so bad is because that is like the darkest part of your brain that are like, oh, he's a terrible guy, that there's a part of you that feels like that, and that you don't want them necessarily to be right, and they're vocalizing that part of you. And while it's like validating and you're like, he's a total fucking dick, you're like, okay, but I mean, like, we're gonna stay and like work this out. And so I think that can be hard.
He was a total dick.
100%.
This whole like, I just wanted to see if I could
Still get it?
flirt with people.
Megan did that.
Yeah, but I asked.
But you asked first.
That at least is better.
Yeah.
But like, I just
it was that, that we can't.
also like, what are you proving? That you can message somebody on an app and see if you still have it? That's not proving if you have anything. That's like this. That's this like the slinkiest, easiest way to get a response, I would assume. Like, if you really want to know if you still got it, walk up to some stranger and strike up a nice conversation.
Well,
That's
see,
it.
maybe he's socially awkward like me. I just wanted to put my pictures on an app and be like, let me swipe right on everybody and see what responses I get.
I mean, that is
But
fun.
I did it with permission.
See, here's the thing. Tinder is super fun. I never got to play with Tinder because I was paired off before Tinder, but playing with other people's Tinder, a blast.
fun.
So much fun to help your friends play Tinder.
Oh, I
It's a game,
used to do
right?
dating apps for her. I would do it for my other friend. The
So
one
fun.
that I was on is the one that you're not supposed to talk about, like the Fight Club one.
Next question.
On to the next, guys.
Maybe something easier. Like, how do I, what should I eat at
This is actually going to be
McDonald's?
harder.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. This is...
Tumbling.
Hi, Megan. I've just been listening to your podcast, and I just need to call in for a little boyfriend and his family advice. So I'm 21. My boyfriend's 27, so there's an age difference. But
I thought she said 7.
Also
anyways, we've been dating for about 2.5 years now, almost 3 years. And a little context, I'm American, born and raised here, and he's Indian. He was born and raised in New Delhi, moved here for college. So we sort of come from two different cultures. And in his culture, dating just isn't a thing. Like this past summer, I went to his brother's wedding with him because his mom knows about me and wanted to meet me. So I went to his brother's wedding, which is a big step for us, obviously. It was in India. And I just had to be like his friend, which was fun because I understand like it's a different culture. I was very understanding of that. The issue is that besides his mom and his brother, the family either was completely cold to me or hated me. I think it's pretty obvious that we were in a relationship. I don't think he fooled anyone with the friend thing. And some of the family like outright refused to talk to me, like wouldn't talk to me. Or it was very obvious that they were speaking about me right in front of me because they knew I didn't know Hindi, I didn't know the language, and it really made me feel like shit, like it really sucked. Especially some of the family members acted like they liked me, and then I added them, they added me on Facebook, and when I added them back, they went and told all the other relatives about my life, about like how my parents were divorced, about how like blah, blah, blah. I'm just, like, not right. And they went and told his mom that, like, oh, he shouldn't marry this white girl, like, blah, 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 blah. Especially since, like, they're still arranged marriages in India. So, like, his brother had an arranged marriage. So I think that's what his family wants. So I really, like, don't know what to do. It really sucks that his family doesn't like me. I don't really know how to handle this well. I, like, cried about it. He keeps telling me, like, their opinions don't matter. Like, I love you. Like, it doesn't matter what they think. I'm just not, basically matters what, like, his mom thinks. Just, like, that's fine. But for me, I just keep getting nervous that, like, stuff that, you know, if we do eventually get married, his family is just not going to approve and it's just going to continue talking about me and my family negatively. And I'm not about that. So if you have any advice on how to deal with this, I like don't know what to do, how to like handle this maturely and well. So any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks.
I want to know why you know. Like, did your boyfriend tell you? Like, that's a little, you know?
That she knows what? That
all like that they're saying all this stuff behind her back.
Maybe she figured it out from Facebook.
Yeah.
But then how did they write on her, like, the wall, being like, by
Maybe
the way?
she just, like, clicked through their profile and saw that they were that openly just talking about her. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think she should watch Crazy Rich Asians and get inspired and figure out a really good monologue to tell off
while you play
his
a
mother
game.
while you beat her at her own game.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes. No, this is complicated. I think, though, you know, you've been together for like 2 years. Ride it out for a couple more years. See if you still love them. Ultimately, families they deal with it.
Yeah.
I think they deal with it. They get over it. Every family is just, especially conservative families, are just more of like I don't trust new relationships. They're not going to work out. So they just don't want them to.
Yeah.
And they're very stuck in their ways. But if you're with someone for like 4 or 5 years and it's clear you love each other, they get over it.
Yeah.
They really do. And it's probably harder to see that. You're 21, you're a little younger, and like, but you'll see as you grow older that you can just be like, fuck what they think, I don't care. And they'll be like, dang it, they don't care what I think.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess I don't think that way anymore.
It's a very liberating feeling once you stop trying to impress people who aren't ever going to like you for nothing that you can control. And I think we said this before, like I've definitely had issues with like people I've dated, like, and their family and like not getting along. And when you realize that it's not specifically you, obviously the cultural difference that's a big reason why. But once you realize that it's not like, you can't control that. When it's something you can't control, it's just like, well, you know what? It's out of my hands. No matter what I do, like this is still what it's going to be. There's like that idea of like, oh, if you date this person, you date their family, but your boyfriend is aware of the situation. He knows. He's like, you know what? Like I choose you. It doesn't matter to me. I think, yeah, like you said, like I think you just need to ride it out. I wouldn't stress about it now. I think like you definitely see like movies where people are like, oh my God, like the in-laws, like either they're evil or it's like, oh my God, like my sister-in-law, like we're best friends, like this is amazing. And it's not always like that. Like it's like sometimes it's just the people that you see over holidays. It's fucking awkward. It sucks. That's why you get really drunk on wine and then you like move on and you don't really like you deal with it later. Like the idea that like you wanting to feel included and feel like a part of the family, I think like is totally understandable. And then them talking shit, also again, something you can't control, and it just makes them look fucking stupid. Yeah. Like
it won't matter.
Yeah. I've definitely had people who like are like guys that I've dated, parents like bring up like, oh, well, you know, like her parents aren't together. And I'm just like, you realize how much like a fucking asshole you sound like that you're going to like look down like, oh, well, she's the child of divorced parents. And I'm like, do you like, what the fuck? Like you're a full grown adult. Like there are some certain things like that where it just makes them look dumb. And like the goal is to hurt you and invalidate your relationship. But the only person or the only two people that are in your relationship are you and your boyfriend. So I think like stressing and worrying about it isn't going to get you anywhere. And especially if like there are family members that you do get along with and that do really like you, then like just stick to them and like hang out with them and like enjoy everything, because like they might come around, they might not, but at the end of the day, like their approval isn't going, like you think that that's going to like make everything feel so great and so awesome and so much better, but at the end of the day, like it really like it doesn't make a difference as long as you and your partner are on the same page.
That's it. You probably won't see them that often anyway.
Yeah. It's the extended family and they're in a different country.
Yeah, let them talk shit. Old people love to talk shit. Let them talk shit. Like, who cares? Be above it. It sucks and it's hard, and I've definitely been there, but like, I can't explain how liberating it is when you're like, I'm not going to try anymore. And then you're like, fuck this. I don't even care. Like, it's nice.
Start giving them things to hate about you.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Start being
as soon as you said like mature, and I go, well, I can tell you how to be petty as fuck. I can tell you exactly how to do that.
Start like, I don't know, wearing crazy outfits and like just making out with him on Facebook Live, and tagging them in the video.
My favorite is if you know specifically shit that they've talked about you, using that same language and those same phrases in conversation with them to be like, I know, I know what you said.
Undercut them.
That's what.
But yeah, really, just like don't worry about it. As long as he's like actually committed to you, then it won't be an issue.
Yeah, don't worry about it. And also watch Monster-in-Law. Jane Fonda. That could be. It could
with J-Lo too.
Yeah. Well, should we go on to the next?
Hey, Megan. So I'm 25 and I'm in a bit of a dilemma. When I was in college, I had a roommate. She was awesome. We lived together for about a year, and it was like the perfect kind of roommate. Like we weren't best friends, but we weren't enemies. So it flowed really well, no problems. When she was living with me, she actually was like obsessed with this guy, and he was dating other people, and he was always kind of like coming back to her and messaging her like while he was dating other people. So it was kind of shady, but like she was head over heels for this guy, and she was determined that she was going to one day be with him. We were all just like, okay, whatever, good luck. But she moved out after about a year of living together, and I honestly haven't talked to her in like 5 or 6 years, but you know, we talk every once in a while, like, hey, how you doing? Like, cute picture on Instagram, you know. And I noticed that she's actually engaged to this guy that she was like in love with in college. Like he finally came around and decided to date her instead of like cheating on his other girlfriends with her. So it was like, you know, I think I messaged her and I was like, I'm so happy for you, like that you guys are finally together. That's crazy. And so yeah, like I said, I don't really talk to her. But I got a DM about a couple days ago from a weird account, and it just said, hey, I think you're really gorgeous. I'm really scared to tell you who I am, so I made this private account just to like tell you because I really wanted you to know. And I was like, okay, thanks. I kind of left it at that, and then he kept writing back, and I was like, you know, I'm really nervous to tell you who I am. I don't want you to tell your fiance. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm engaged. Sorry. But, and so I was just like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to tell me. I don't really care, as mean as that sounds. But it was a compliment. Like, I don't even know who it's from. And then when I stopped responding, he just wrote back and was like, okay, I'll tell you who I am. And it is my old roommate's fiance. Now, I was kind of like, oh, yikes, like, this is weird. But I was just, thank you. Like, it was really sweet, blah, blah, blah. But he keeps messaging me and asking me if I want to know what reminded him of me to make him make this account. And I just keep being like, it doesn't matter, like, thanks, but no thanks. And he just keeps saying, I really want to tell you, but I really don't want it to get back to me. I don't want you to tell anybody. And I was just like, I can't promise you that. Like, we're both engaged technically. And he just keeps sending me like grumpy messages, like with emojis. So I'm just torn because, like I said, I haven't talked to my roommate in, maybe like 4 or 5 years. It's like, do I tell her that her fiance is being shady? They're getting married in literally 2 weeks. So it's like, do I just kind of stay out of it or like watch it burn from far away? But yeah, so I kind of just like have no idea what to do. So I'm hoping you can give me some advice if I should do something or do nothing. So yeah, thank you.
Wow, these are juicy.
They're both just looking at me like, oh, what she's going to say. And then it just made me spit.
Are they, are all the questions this salacious and
Our lives are really
juicy?
fucking hard.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah. Dude, they're very juicy. We have to tell you about the time that a girl was in love with this guy who was in jail for accidentally murdering someone.
Oh my
And
God.
he was married.
And she just wanted our approval.
Did
to
he
like,
use emojis?
Maybe.
I love the emoji part. That just made this dude even just like lamer.
Yeah,
It's
just
just like, now
want
this
to
guy
see my dick?
doesn't seem like the guy that this other girl should have been pining over for so
Right?
long. If he's like,
Not cool.
I think you're really hot. And I made a different account.
It's so lame.
It's super lame.
It's so losery.
Yeah. Well, she's this girl who has the question, whoever you are, you're dope.
Yeah.
You sound cool.
You do.
You sound like you got a good head on your shoulders. You are actually weighing like, well, I would like to tell this person. I'm not actually close to this person. They're getting married in 2 weeks. Ugh, weddings are such a nightmare. Don't want to ruin the wedding. I'm sure they've already invested a lot of money in this. But also bad marriage is even worse. But maybe this dude's loaded and she can, run away with half of his money. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is there. But this dude seems like a total sleazebag.
He does.
It seems like he's always been like this. That means he always will be like this. So I've just convinced myself she should tell her friend.
I just screenshot it and send all the messages to her.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say from the beginning. Not that this is going to happen again to you, but maybe it will. In general, you don't respond to this shit. Like, just in general.
Don't at all.
Like, not even like, oh, thank you. Like, just don't. Like, from any, like, people you know or people you don't know. Anonymous accounts, like, saying that they think you're pretty and all of that. Like, no. And also,
but
like,
it's hard,
I also
isn't
fucking,
it?
no, I just fucking can't when a guy is like, I gotta tell you you're pretty. And it's like, because nobody, it's as if like they've made this, like they've had this revelation and nobody's ever thought that before. And they're like, I had to tell you because you can't go through life not knowing. And it's like, fuck you, I know. Like,
I made this account of brick
like,
sushi.
Also, what do you think the profile picture was? Like, were there pictures? Or is it just like, I think Sarah's pretty 272? Like,
yeah, it's
what?
definitely that.
Like
it's
in the bio, it's
that.
like, she's so pretty. I have a crush on her.
I don't.
Like,
you're so pretty.
It's just weird. I think like in general, I think
and she knew he was weird too from the beginning.
I think the first thing you should do is I think you should tell your fiance and be like, hey, FYI, this is what happened. I totally didn't think that, like, I just felt like weird and like awkward about it, but like it hasn't stopped. And I just like want to let you know because like we're obviously together and like I don't want, and I'm telling you now because I.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Want you to hear it from me, but I think you also should tell this girl, just because I am a big believer in everybody should have all of the information so then they can make that decision and that choice. But when you don't tell somebody something that you know, you're like, regardless, like you're not letting them make that choice because they might not make the choice. She might not make the choice to stay with him if she knew those things.
Or maybe she's like totally cool with it.
But then it's fine. And then
why would he make the other account?
Because he just wants it to be.
Also, like, if you want to not come off as creepy but give someone a compliment, don't make a fake profile. Just do it. Just be like, hey, if you gotta compliment them, just be like, just write on a picture, cool picture or something like that. That'll get the point across. I mean, you don't really want to just compliment them.
He's trying to
get in there.
He was being skeevy before, with her, and initially he was cheating with. He was cheating.
She was the other woman.
Yeah, she was always the other woman.
Fantastic
time. So
yeah. Which is why I'm like, well, maybe she's just like, I know this about him.
Yeah, which is also okay. And like everybody's relationship and like what they do and what the parameters of what's okay is totally different.
But he is like, I don't want anybody to find out.
Yeah, which is him wanting someone to find out.
Yeah,
like I'm
I
like,
know,
you
right?
like, okay.
It's a call. It's a cry for help in a way. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe he doesn't want to get married. Maybe that's a thing shitty guys do. They try to be shitty so you break up with them because they aren't man enough to just actually end a relationship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've definitely done that plenty of times. I'm like, I guess I want to break up because you kind of suck.
You've been really off for the last few months, and I guess I have to break up with you because you've been just terrible.
It's like really out of left field.
And he's like, no, okay.
Literally. No. But yeah. Please don't. Please don't.
It's funny, all the guys who I've known who have done something like that, also, like, when they get broken up with her, they are like, oh, how could she break up with me? Like, that was your goal. Dude, that's what you wanted. You did it.
Yeah. Oh, they want it all. But yeah, I think you got to tell this girl. And I would I would take this, I would do screenshots and I would just say it as like gently as possible. I would first, before you have any screenshots, I would, no, you can do a screenshot in general, but I would just like, I would start it with like, hey, this is really like uncomfortable and awkward. And I just like, and not putting any judgment on it of being like, he's a fucking scumbag, break up with him. Because like, you don't know if this is like what their relationship is like. And it's just like, I don't know if you know about this. I know that you're getting married in 2 weeks. And like, I just know that if I was in this position, I would want someone to tell me, which is why I'm telling you, I'm not trying to like ruin anything. I don't know if there's like whatever you guys have going on, but like, I just really like felt like I needed to tell you because I would have wanted to know.
Maybe she's on a crazy game show and it's actually her friend pretending to be the guy and trying to find out if she will do the morally right thing, and when she does, she'll get $10,000.
Only 10,000?
Look,
she's only won an episode.
Yeah, well, I don't know this. I don't know how much production budget they have for this show. It seems like they're just using emojis here because they.
Yeah, no, true. 10,000.
That's pretty good. That's like the standard cooking show. Chopped. Cake challenge.
Yeah.
I don't know cake challenge. Cake challenge. Like $10,000. That's like the minimum.
Yeah.
Award for winning at something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except for Great British Bake Off, where you win nothing but pride and a trophy.
But it's the best show.
It is the best fucking show.
And I think the lack of prize is why everybody's so nice.
Yeah.
Because the prize is a big piece of glass.
I love it though.
It's a big glass serving tray.
Yeah, which I'm sure they never use. They just hang on a wall.
Show. I love that.
So fucking good. It's my favorite show.
It's the best show.
Yeah.
Okay, we should move on to another thing. Does anyone have a question about Great British Bake Off? Who do you think is going to be in the next season?
Oh my god, Martha follows me from like season 3. She follows me on Instagram. I know. It's pretty cool. She just got married. And all the contestants brought their own cake, like that she's all friends. Isn't that cute? I love that.
Time.
I know. I'm baking my friend's wedding cake and I'm very nervous.
I'm trying to make friends with executive chefs. Okay, let's move on. Just for end life.
Okay, guys. Break time? Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back from our break, obviously. Hello, what's up? And we're going to hop into the nest of the calls. That was rest and next as one word.
Oh, well, it is sort of a nest of calls.
Yeah, a nest of
They're
calls.
all little sleeping birds
Yes.
waiting for their mama birds to feed them, regurgitate knowledge.
So gross. I used to do that as a kid. I used to grab, like, take the food out of my parents' mouths and eat it after they chewed it as a baby.
How old were you?
A baby.
You remember that?
Like baby?
No, I didn't know.
Oh,
They
but
told
that-
me.
Well,
but
people
that is
do
like, actually, parents do that.
Yeah.
No,
for
I know, but
babies.
I helped myself. I was like, that looks tasty, that mashed up food. I will eat it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have teeth. Like most babies.
Saves you the work right there.
True.
Hi, Megan. I am 23. I'm calling because I'm currently in a huge transition in my life. I have a full-time job that I love as a receptionist, and my boyfriend just got a full-time job that is almost 2 hours from me. And this kind of came very sudden, as well as the fact that he got an apartment close to his new job. And as someone who doesn't really have that many friends, and by many I mean none, like I have friends through him and that's about it, and they're all up in the same area that he's currently moving to. And I guess I'm just curious as to if you have any advice of what I could be doing with all this free time I'm going to have now by myself with my dog and my cat. I mean, I'm planning on visiting him on the weekends, but through the week, I'm really nervous about, just being on my own and having those nights where all I want to do is binge watch The Office or Community with him, and he's not going to be there. So, if you could give me some advice, it'd be great.
Aww.
She sounds stressed out.
Yeah, she does.
Mhm.
I'm glad you have pets. That was
That
my
will
first
help a
thing
lot.
I was going to say.
In
I was like,
fact,
get a dog.
Yeah, that will help. So I was long distance, and it wasn't a sudden thing, but I moved to LA for a year before my wife was able to move to LA. She wasn't my wife yet. And she was like, well, I'm not ready to move to LA, but I'm like, well, I am ready to move to LA, and I feel like I'm not getting any further in Chicago. I feel like I hit a wall, and I just needed creatively to go try something new. I very much loved Becky a lot, and I was like, well, this is the only thing that sucks is that I won't be with you. And it was definitely hard, but it was a little different. We definitely both have our own friend circles. This is a little different than there. But in general, long distance will totally work. You just have to know when the end will be for the distance.
That's what I always say.
If you have an indeterminate amount, it's just so stressful because you have nothing to look forward to. But we knew that it would be exactly 1 year long. And at the end of that, we would move in together.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
In LA, so that was like great. Just have to get through 1 year. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
And also, like if you can get through a year of long distance where you really only see each other once every like 6 or 7 weeks, then you really have a strong foundation of a relationship. And then if you can go from that to living together, and that works too. You're good. You're good to go.
Put
Just
a ring on it.
throw some rings around, throw a big
Multiple
party, and make all your
rings.
friends watch you kiss, and then you're good.
Yeah. Upload it to YouTube, film it, all of it.
The friend thing, that I think is just, that's tougher. I don't know. It sounds like she's a little afraid to make friends, and that can be hard. But that's solved easily just by finding things that you really like and going online and finding those people who like that and finding a community and then meeting them.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I genuinely think, like, as much as this probably sucks for you, I think this is probably really good for you because, like, it's saying that your only friends are his friends. It's as much as, like, those people and, like, you can have mutual friends and they can, like, all be, like, your friends and things like that. Like, it's I don't know if he has like a lot of female friends. It's really important for women to be friends with other women. That I went through a period of my life where I lived in LA that like my only friends were guys. And I was like, oh, fucking shit. Like I was like, I need female friends. This is so much, but it's so much fucking harder to like find a female friend. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what are we, like, you're judging my outfit. Like, oh, okay. We're like all of that. It can be really hard and really intimidating. And especially if you have had a hard time making friends, or you've like gone through an unlucky period where you've like made shitty friends, so now you're kind of like scarred from that. I've also definitely been there. And your job being a receptionist, I'm assuming you probably don't have a ton of like work friends and interaction. That sounds like a little more like a solo sort of thing. I think like as much as like it feels uncomfortable and awkward, if there's like, you know, when you have like friend crushes on somebody and like someone you like work with, you're like, I really want to be that person's friend, or someone that you like go to a workout class with, like someone who you see around and you see them and like,
ooh, I would say a workout class is a great thing to do with your time.
Yeah, literally. I have a workout. I had a
confidence booster actually is good for you. Yeah. There's people there who are probably also there because they need something else happening in their life.
And it's like a shared interest. Like when I started first working out and I went to Pilates, there was like this like just really cool mom, and I was like, I really want to be your friend. Like I really want to be your friend. And we just like ended up like standing close, like picking reformers close to each other. And then like after a couple weeks, she was finally like, we've like actually never officially met. And I was like, it's happening. We're becoming friends.
Here we go. Okay,
and like we went to coffee after class, and like we would do that. And I saw her today, and like and like I'm like, oh, how are the kids? She's like, great. Like how's the boyfriend? And like, and it's like even those like small little interactions, I think like you just talking to people more in general will build up your confidence to make friends and people you hang out with outside of those activities where you're meeting people. And the more comfortable you get with that. I also know a couple of people who've actually made really good friends on like Bumble BFF, not sponsored. Because like it is like, especially for I would say like people in their 20s, like so much of like dating has been online, and like so much of your life has been online that like, I mean, I tend to think that we are a little more emotionally stunted when it comes to talking to people in person, because we're not like, we've been able to rely really heavily on everything like on like everything online. And so I think finding things that you like to do, whether it's like classes, workout classes, like an art class, or volunteering or anything like that, where you can like go out and meet people that way. But then I also think like if you have any like if he has any friends, like if his friends, if all of your mutual friends, if you guys were all friends, then did they also move to this new city? Because what does anyone know anyone in the city left that you could be like, hey, could set you up with like, oh, my friend's sister just moved here, like you guys should like set up on a friend date kind of thing.
Yeah, I did that with some friends. They both asked me to go to the same event separately. They didn't know each other, but I couldn't go to the event, so I just sent them both emails and connected them in like an awkward way. I was like, hey, you guys both like cats, and you're going to this event, be friends, go together.
I think that's like a great way, because it's like people who are like vouching for that. But then also I think you can look up like not like, I don't want to say like female groups or whatever, but like there are like social groups if you like look up online.
I would actually say this is something I've only learned. So we have a Patreon for Try Guys, and it has like a Discord server, which is like a chat server, and our like fans who have this incredibly rich community in that server. And it's like it like this, not advertising our Patreon, but really is like, if you find a fan base of something that you like, some sort of like, I'm sure there is literally a set of message boards of people super passionate about The Office and Community, but if you find, especially like digital creators have really good fan bases who are really positive, who are also maybe a little bit introverted, and they have found each other. And like we've seen on ours, like people hang out and they've met each other through that and are like in-person friends through like their shared love of like the Try Guys or whatever thing they like. But ours especially, I will advertise ours because it is like the most amazingly positive community I've ever seen. I've never seen so many kind things and so many respectful conversations. When people disagree, they're like, I totally understand. I think though this, and like, I get that. And they're like very, and I've never seen such.
I obviously can't join. I'm not good with other people's opinions.
It is like.
But that's a good segue to ours as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a Patreon that we just started. We announced at the beginning of this episode.
I love Patreon. I will say like that if you listen to this and you love the show, you should join the Patreon, because you'll find other people who also love this, and then like you will actually have this shared place to start conversations. And I'm sure that your Discord would be awesome, because it's a lot of people looking for advice and having a lot of a background of like getting advice in difficult situations. So I think they could really help one another in the Discord or the Patreon.
On a friend date.
Yeah. You should do it.
Yeah,
It out there.
Oh, I think that's
and even just the posts, like people write in the comments on posts in the Patreon, and it's really supportive and great.
I think like that's important because you're able, finding people who are in like the like-minded thing. I think like it's the same thing that I think can actually be like really great about dating apps is it rules out people. I'm like, I don't want to have to ask somebody if you voted for Trump. You know what I mean? Like I want to like rule out all of these things that are like hardcore deal breakers in friends at the very beginning. And so, hit up that. And yeah, I
think actually tangible advice, join the Patreon for this show and you will find other people who like this show and you will be their friend.
Just don't give out your social security number anymore.
Don't do that.
But we keep in like make online friends, but like
don't give people your address either unless you like really
meet in a public place and you separately drive each other. And then if you ever FYI, if you ever go on a date, because I just listened to this episode of My Favorite Murder, if you ever go on like a online date or anything or whatever, don't let anyone take you back home or like walk you to your door or anything like that. This guy literally watched they took Ubers there and then he was like, oh, I want to make sure you get home okay. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm like, don't believe it's a lie. And he like walked her to her door and like watched her enter and like her pin pad and her key. And the next day she like went to her house and her bedroom door was closed and she lives alone and she never closed the door and her dog was freaking out and she was like, oh, let me go take the dog out first. And she called 911 when she was there. She's like, this is so stupid, but like I'm just paranoid and like I feel like something's weird with my apartment. And they go and he is underneath her bed with a knife and a bunch of like all of these like fucking like crazy like torture shit.
Oh
literally
my
the
gosh.
the next day after. Isn't that insane?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
That dog saved her life.
I know. I need a dog.
And probably other girls' lives too.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And don't let any fucking guy tell you that like I'm not like don't like any like this like chivalry sort of thing of being like, let me be this really like great fantastic guy for you, because guys don't do this. Like you don't need someone to do that for you.
Also, fantastic guys never tell the people that they're fantastic.
Yes. No, it's fucking it's like literal bullshit. Like the idea, and also like when I think about
nice.
like my good guy friends, like when you see like a guy like compliments you like in public, he's like, no, I just like really like I am not usually this guy. I want to say that. I was like, I have fantastic guy friends who will see a girl who's pretty in public and they're like, no, I'm not going to go up and say that to her. That's going to make her uncomfortable and feel threatened.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what a good guy does. A good guy isn't like, hey, I gotta do this. You're like, don't let people do that, guys. Don't. Always send, and when you're in Ubers, always send your location to share with people immediately as soon as you get in. Take pictures of everything. I have like 40,000 pictures on my phone. A whole lot of them are me like inside of Ubers being like, this is where I'm at. This is all of this
You
shit.
and your close friends should just be on that like Find My Friends thing where they can just see where you are.
Yeah.
Just a thing.
That one too. I'm all about that. Okay. Well, whew. Sorry,
Knife
guys.
under the bed.
I'm so sorry.
My God.
I'm sorry. I really should have warned.
Oh
I
my
was just
God.
like, listen to this crazy
I didn't
story.
expect that.
I didn't expect
I
it.
did
We're talking
say
about
my
Patreon.
favorite
We're talking
murder,
about
so
friendship and a receptionist.
yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. No one's gonna hide under your bed with a knife. Don't worry. I don't want to scare you like
Yeah.
that. You've got a dog and a cat.
And a cat.
And this is like a good learning, like for you to learn yourself without your boyfriend.
Yeah.
So this
It
is
is
a good time in your life.
And change is good.
Yeah.
Change helps you grow.
Yeah. And having your own friends, it's a really like, I think it's a very important
imperative,
thing. It's it makes everything a lot easier, and there's a lot less pressure on your relationship, and your relationship gets better and is more fun because you're not looking for everything from your partner or people that you don't like that are their people, you know, that you're like, oh, your people. You get your own people. Get your own people. Okay. Should we go on to the next call?
The next call.
I am 26 years old and my boyfriend is almost 28 years old. We've been in an exclusive monogamous relationship for about 2 years now. And we're at a point where we are spending almost every day together. We're not always sleeping over at each other's places just due to parking constraints. But we're pretty happy about it. And I actually spoke with him last night to check in and make sure that he was okay with how much time we're spending together, because I wanted to make sure that he was still having time to do the things that he wants to do. And we also just checked in on kind of, I guess, state of the relationship, you could say, though that sounds super official. Just, you know, are you happy with how things are, and are you happy with where things are going? So that last question, he ended up saying, oh, well, you know, I don't really know where things are going, which it wasn't very encouraging to hear that. I guess I feel like we should be moving forward in some way. And the problem is I'm not really sure what way. So I talked with him probably a few months ago about the possibility of us moving in together. Obviously not yet. We wouldn't be able to do that until September. So at that point, it was like 6 months, 9 months out. And he said, I just don't think that's a great idea. And I'm also thinking, well, that might not be the next step for us if he's not enthused about it. Because it really takes both to be excited about moving in together to make that work. Anyway, I guess my thing is we just went to a wedding together and everyone was asking, oh, are you living together? Are you proposing yet? And that was just a little discouraging to hear that and be like, no, we're just dating. We just see each other a lot. So on top of that, I'm actually also starting a grad program come September, and that'll be for 2.5 years. So I guess I'm a little anxious about us being able to dedicate time together. And I do love seeing him every day, which is why the whole idea of moving in together came up in the first place. Well, if you have any suggestions on what to do, I know that he and I need to talk more about this, but I would welcome any advice that you have. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.
Rough. He's checked out.
Yeah.
That's pretty much that. I mean, he's 28, so he's like old enough to know in 2 years if he wants to move in with someone or not. And if he doesn't, he just doesn't have the heart. I think he doesn't think there's a future, but he also doesn't have any other better option probably, and doesn't really know what he's doing. So he's just like, I want things to stay in the same place where it's just this, we are together and we have a nice time together, but this isn't a forever thing for him. I don't think. I think the graduate program is probably a great opportunity for you, in all honesty, to meet a lot more people and learn a lot more about yourself. And I don't know, you could give this relationship a little more if you wanted, but it doesn't read to me based off the information that it's like gonna be the one. Also, you're 23, he's 28. Yeah, like he should,
She's 26.
26. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then you're both old enough to know if you want to move in together or not. And if he doesn't, then he doesn't.
Might just be like him. It might not be that like this relationship. It might just be like he doesn't want to settle down ever. Like he wants to just date. Like he doesn't want to ever move in with somebody. He wants to just like keep it like monogamous and just exactly how you have it. And this is like probably, I think, like one of the hardest things to deal with in a relationship when you both really like each other, but you just want different things. And like, it's not about waiting for someone else to come around, because at the end of the day, like it feels shitty to go to weddings and go to like, and talk with people and feel like that's something that you want, but you're waiting on him, because it's not fair. It creates like a ton of resentment in your relationship. Like there's no way, if you're not getting what you need and what you want out of a relationship and you're just waiting for someone else to give it to you, like that's also a ton of pressure to put on him, that like then you're also going to be in your head of being like, well, does he actually want this, or is he only saying this because this is what he knows that I want? And I think like the most important thing in a relationship is like obviously like love and chemistry and everything like that, but also like wanting the same things, like wanting the same things out of life and like out of a relationship with somebody. And I think like it's been enough time that, like you said, like you guys should know. I'm not like like when you meet someone, you know that they're going to be the one or whatever. But like, I think a couple, I mean,
2 years, you see each other every day.
Like, I was younger. Mats and I were younger than that when we moved in together, and we're younger than he's 29 now. I'm 25, but like we were both younger than that before we started talking about our future. We wouldn't be like 4 years into this if we hadn't like been like, yeah, we want kids. Yeah, we want to get married. This is like our timeline of when we would want to get engaged and do all of that stuff. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable being in a relationship for an extended period of time, not with like a guarantee or something or whatever, but just knowing that like what I want, what the person I'm with wants the same thing that I want, and that it's not like I don't know, like pulling teeth or kind of like waiting around, because that's a really, really shitty feeling. And like I've been there in like lesser versions, like when you're dating someone and like they're like, yeah, let's like keep it casual, and you're like, oh, for sure, and you're like, I'm only hooking up with you and I really like you and I really want like you to want this, but I'm going to accept what you're giving me and hope that you get to where I am. And it doesn't really happen. And I think like you're right. You definitely should have more conversation with him about it and talk to him about it. Maybe he's just like not a guy that's like into talking about his feelings. But like even the way you said when he's like, like that's just such like you said, checked out.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like he doesn't have this huge investment into the future of it. And I'm sure this is very heartbreaking news, but I also think you kind of know this, and it's hard. I'm sad to have to tell you this, but I think it's probably not the best thing. And the longer you stay in it, the more you're just going to be frustrated, and it doesn't sound like it's going to change. Now, you could be just super frank with him and be like, "This is how I feel. I think we should end this relationship if it's not going forward." Because it's only going to be harder once you're like studying and doing work in school and surrounded with other people who are like fun and cool and interested in what you're interested in, and also pursuing bigger things, because you're going into a graduate program. If you're doing that, it's because you want to pursue bigger things. So it doesn't sound like you're on the same page as this guy, and as like sad as that means the next several months might be, it's, it will help you to grow, and you'll find someone who is in the same boat. Or maybe he'll be like, damn it, I was such an idiot, never mind. Let's move in together. Who knows?
I'm just a big for me, it's like it's important to me to be with somebody, want somebody to want to be with me as much as I want to be with them. And I think like that's obviously like not like an ego thing, but like there is like a part of it that like, even if someone's to come like saying like, oh no, never mind, like, okay, we can do this kind of thing or whatever, like you want someone and that person exists. Like this idea like, oh, men don't want to get married, and they're like, oh my God, like these women like trying to like wife me up, husband, whatever. But like all of that, like that's not like, that's like, it's not always true. Like that's like, I've definitely like, I mean, Mats is older than me, but I definitely have to be like, yeah, whoa, let's pump the brakes. Like I'm not ready for like this aspect yet. Like you're older than me, like let's wait it out. But like, this isn't like a par for the course of relationships. It's like trying to talk your boyfriend into taking these steps of like more like commitment and like being more serious. And it's not something you're going to have to face in every relationship. So don't think like, oh, well, I've already invested this much time in this and I'm going to get into another relationship and the same thing is going to happen. Cause like, that's not necessarily true. But yeah, they're like, you want to be with someone who wants to be with you as much as you do. And like, you shouldn't be like, not that I'm saying that you're afraid, but there's like a part of you that sounds like a little worried to get a direct answer from him. And like, you're not like point blank, just being like, do you ever see us moving in together and getting married? And what would that timeline be? You have to ask those direct questions, because right now it does kind of feel like you're tiptoeing around it because you don't want to get an answer.
You don't want to hear the no that you think you're going to hear.
Yeah. And you just gotta like, you gotta fucking hear it, because no matter what, even if you don't hear that no, it's still a no. You know? Ugh. And I'm sorry. It sucks.
I know, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you really like this guy, and I think he probably really likes you. But I've been in lots of relationships where we really liked each other, and then we didn't end up together. Yeah. We weren't right for each other, and we didn't see the future, and then I found somebody that I did see the future with, and then that's where I am.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll suck for a while, but yeah. I hope it goes well. Let us know. Okay. So now it's time for Don't Blame Them. I know, play on words. And this is where a listener will call in with their own advice from like a previous episode. If they're like listening and they're like, hey, that's something that similar has happened to me. I'm going to give my own advice on that.
This is fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Don't blame them.
You
should call them Don't Blame And then it's just me flipped, because you've added 2 letters in there.
Is U-M.
No, like an apostrophe E-M. Don't blame them. Don't blame me. Don't blame them.
Don't blame them. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Just
look at you branding coming
I like
here.
it.
And you can have a little animation that goes boop.
Yeah. Do you want to make the animation?
Cute. Yeah.
No, I'm not great at animations.
Okay.
But
Was any of the Try Guys good at the animations?
I mean, I could do
got
it.
A team.
I could do it. If you want to send me the file, I can do it. It'll take me an hour or 2, but I can do it, I guess.
Sick. Great. Cool. Send it to him.
Send it to him.
Yeah. Send it to him.
We made merch now too. Okay.
All right. So this is from the most recent episode that Leo Howard was on. The original caller was a little conflicted about moving. Her boyfriend had moved away, and she was conflicted about moving away from her family
Without the ring.
Yeah,
No?
without the ring. Yep.
I remember
Oh,
this.
yeah. Well, Becky did that, so I'm ready.
She moved without the ring?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Megan. I'm 23 years old and I live in Pennsylvania. So I'm calling in response to your most recent upload with Leo. And you had that girl talking about how her and her man live 6 hours apart. She's nervous to move to him because she'll be giving up her whole life. And she's worried about everything because they're not engaged or blah, 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 blah. So I just want to quickly give my bit because I went through something kind of similar, kind of not at all, but maybe she can relate. So I graduated college.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Last year in May. So I didn't want to work in my career. Where I was living wasn't stable. I lived in a house that I rented off my mother. She was selling it. So graduated college, losing my house. I fell out of a best friendship recently, very depressive state. I met my man on Tinder, actually, and he lived about an hour and 45 minutes south of me. I was from a small town with less than 2,000 people in it. He was from a big city. So just driving to visit him gave me so much anxiety and everything. So in the end, I ended up moving in with him after 2 months, and that's crazy to me. But it turned out to be the best thing I've ever done in my life. You know, I really took a chance on him. Now we're engaged, soon to be married. He's my soulmate. I got in my career path down here. Now we have our own apartment. We have 3 cats. It's just, I'm living the best life I could have ever even hoped for myself. So I know it's a huge deal, moving in with someone, moving somewhere new, but I say go for it. And, you know, if it doesn't work out, it'll work out. You know, you can go back home. I'm sure you have a support system. So, yeah, I just wanted to give my bit on that. And, yeah, that's all. Bye.
Wow, she's glowing with happiness.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That was a nice, uplifting little moment.
We try and end it on like a less sad one.
Yeah. So yeah, I moved, and I was 26. I just turned 26 when I moved, and she was 23. So we were about 3 years apart, and it was very sad. First of all, moving was just like the most difficult. The actual day of moving was just heartbreaking, totally heartbreaking. But then she moved in with me, and it was like much better. But we'd only been dating 2.5, 3 years at that point, maybe 2 years even. So like, we didn't know if we didn't know. We spent 2 years together, and then we were going to do this long distance thing. And then we knew that she also wanted to move to LA. So it wasn't like she was just following me to follow me. That was in her goals before she met me. So she just wanted to do it later. So she moved out, and then we moved in together, and then we were living together for a couple of years, and we're like, yeah, I think this makes sense. Also, she was just leaving a Pinterest page of wedding rings open all the time. And I totally actually didn't get it. I was oblivious. I'm like, why does Becky keep using my computer to go on Pinterest?
She was using your computer and you still didn't get it.
Yeah, I was just like, what's she doing? Oh my gosh, what a girl! Just looking at rings all the time, just looking at jewelry. It was totally over my head.
Did she have to tell you?
It was. She was like, "When are we gonna get engaged?" I'm like, "I don't know. Probably soon. I don't know." I'm like, she was like, "Are we getting married?" Yeah, I think it's pretty clear we're gonna get married. Like we've been living together for 4 years. It seems like it's working out well. So yeah, probably. And she was like, "Well, when are you gonna be married?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I don't even know what kind of ring you'd want." She's like, "I've been leaving Pinterest page up on your computer for a year." I'm like, "Oh yeah. I thought you were just like love Pinterest." I think that the name of it was just Pretty with like E spelled out. Like that was her page, and it was just a lot of similar looking engagement rings. And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure." And then I was like, "Okay, I'll go get a ring." I wasn't really it was very unceremonious. Like it's being romantic is so tough.
Yeah,
it's so tough to do that.
Especially
romantic
when you know someone really well and you lived like I think the idea of like a surprise proposal and all that only works if it's like a terrible idea.
You should not do a surprise proposal. You should talk about it. And you can make a night that it happens be a surprise, but it should not be a total surprise.
Yeah.
Like a full not a good move.
You should see it coming.
You should really talk about it a lot.
That's exactly how I feel. My boyfriend's the opposite though, because I love looking at wedding shit all the time, that he's now had to be like, he's like, will constantly look over my shoulder. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just looking at wedding rings." He's like, "Okay, you need to tell me when this is supposed to be a hint," because he's like constantly like,
"Right,
when
is it a hint?"
And he was like, "You just need to tell me like when you get to the year that you want it to happen, you have to tell me when that starts, and then like I'm good, but like I can't keep like, because I'll be like, how pretty is this dress?" And he's like, "Is this a trick question? Would you like to get married? You just showed me a wedding." I was like, "No, it's just pretty." And he was like, "I fucking hate you."
It's pretty.
Yeah. And he's like, "This is a trick."
I definitely was like, there was also like a whole, I had the ring for a long time before I proposed, and it was just because some like things happened, like her grandpa got sick, and I'm like, well, it doesn't seem like this is a great time to do that. And then it was like Valentine's Day. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it on Valentine's Day. And then it was like it was like March. I'm like, oh, there's nothing romantic about March. And then she was just like, why haven't you proposed? I'm like, because I can't figure out when would be a good like cool proposal. To be honest, I can't figure it out. Everybody online is doing these cool things. They're like on a bridge somewhere, or they're like at a night, they're in another country. I'm like, we don't have any plans. We're both very busy. And then I was like, she's like, well, it doesn't have to be like a super thing. I just have to not be wearing sweatpants.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Just don't propose to me wearing sweatpants. And then I did propose to her on Easter morning, and it was before we had any pants on. So I said, technically, we don't have pants on yet. So technically, you're not wearing sweatpants. Yeah. So it was very cute.
That was my thing too. Is
did
I
a little
can't be
Easter egg
wearing
hunt.
Shut up.
We don't really care that much about Easter. I just needed some physical thing to do to make it feel more significant. Yeah, so I like hid a bunch of eggs around.
Well, because everyone goes to Bali and gets engaged.
Everyone just like, especially too, because I'm in some sort of public light. I feel like, oh well, I have to film it. It's got to be a video. It's got to be a thing. But I really didn't want to do that. Yeah. That's just that's not me. I'm not a big grand romantic gesture sort of person, and that whole idea of that just totally stressed me out. And I was like, what if it's not cool enough? What if it's but that doesn't actually matter at all. They just want to be proposed to because you love them, not because you're trying to make a cool video.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, well, that's it for our episode. Thank you so much for being on. You were great. You have to come back.
I will come back. This was nice. It was so heartbreaking for me a lot of the time, to be totally honest. I feel a lot of sympathy for people who are in rough patches of their life. It's
well, you
tough.
really shouldn't listen to a couple of the other episodes. Poor Lisa Schwartz. I don't know why. I love Lisa, and I think she's so insightful and great that I keep, every time she's on, I'm like, let's the heavy ones we feel uncomfortable doing other people. Let's have Lisa. And Lisa's like, you're fucking breaking me.
But she's so good at it.
She is really good at it.
Yeah. I don't know if I was the best at it, but I think
you were great. You're great at it. I think it's always super interesting to get like a guy's opinion, especially a guy in a relationship, because there's only so many times that I swear to God, I've said the same fucking, when people, I'm like, get over, this is dumb. Like, he's not into you. And everyone's like, I'm going to stick around. And then as soon as we have a guy on and says, they're like, they were right. I'm like, fine, sure. Just take their advice because they're a dude. Like, that's cool. Yeah. But It's true.
I can read in those like micro habits of guys. Like guys know that a lot of guys are shitty too.
Yeah.
It's no secret to a lot of us that a lot of them are total horrible people.
Yep.
So and we had to deal with them all the time because they've always gendered and stuck us with them. Like, you boys in that room, like, no, these guys are awful. I don't want to be next to them. Let me out of this room.
I'm so glad you knew too.
It's like, oh my God.
Oh God. That's
Like,
true.
you have to live on a floor with only these guys. They're gonna be
so
awful.
smelly.
They're so loud. They are so selfish.
Yep. And they say really stupid things.
And they're super dumb.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
But
I
I've been
can't.
dumb too.
Yeah, I've been dumb too. I'm dumb all
You
the
have
time.
to be dumb to learn to be smart.
True.
You have to know
Very
that you're being dumb. That's
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
You don't realize that you were dumb, then you're truly dumb.
Yeah, no hope.
Mhm.
Give up. Sorry. No,
Yeah.
that's too sad to end on. Well, if you guys want to be in an upcoming episode, leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And
Can
Yeah.
we try to
Okay,
make
try.
a song out? What are the numbers?
You got it.
wait, I just forgot.
310
694. Wait.
0976.
310-694. Boop, 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 boop. Luna. I don't know what the ending
They should
is.
figure out what it spells out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cute. That's good. My friend in high school, she had one that like it spelled something out.
1-800 no blames.
No blame.
No blame.
Blam blam blam.
Maybe I get blame me would actually work.
Blame me.
Blame me, right?
Yeah.
BLAME.
Yeah, you're really upping the production budget of the show.
Really trying to give you guys some more logos, some more graphics.
Yeah. No. We're not.
Okay.
We're not here.
Well, maybe
yet.
someone who calls in can figure out how melodically to make the number work.
Yeah,
out.
that's a good thing.
That's what I want you to do when you call
You
in.
have
So call
homework.
in about the things you need to fix in your life and also a pitch for how the phone number should be sung.
Yeah, let us know, guys. Sing it for us. And if you're an international listener, you don't have a song yet. You can email us an audio file at meghanpodcast@gmail.com.
See, but you've got a hook thing on that.
Yeah.
You've got this .cam
Dat
thing. So
cam.
you got that. See, and that's working.
It is working for me. Except I did a branded post on like Instagram stories and they're like, can she say .com, not .cam?
And I told you that
You
too.
told me that too. It's just like, I feel like I don't like
Not
feel
for this. It was for an ad.
an ad read. I was like, I just like feel so, I just like need to make it like lively and more fun. That cam. Also, it's my go-to, like Midwestern accent for like any situation.
It's accurate.
I'm like, is this awkward? Let me talk
Sounds-
in a Wisconsin accent. Okay, well, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh,
Don't
you
say
can
goodbye.
find me. Oh, yeah. I was like, bye. See ya. You can find us on the Try Guys
Mm-hmm.
YouTube channel, and you can at Try Guys everywhere else. And you can also find me at Keith Habs. And we have a wild summer, and we have a book coming out.
Yeah.
We've got a new podcast now, The Tripod, which is more of a hangout, talk about our
Mm-hmm.
Goofy Lives podcast. And then we have the audiobook. And we're going on tour.
Oh my God, you're going on tour. Are you-
This summer's
Wow.
absurd.
Holy
It was one of those
tits.
things where you work on a lot of projects all year and they
And
all
then they
happen
all
to
happen at
happen
once.
at the same time. So the book comes out June 18th, my birthday.
my
The
gosh.
podcast just came out. The tour starts the 21st of June. We're
Wow.
going to 20 cities across America.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be super dope. We're like
Wow.
trying to do more than just like, no, most YouTubers, they'll do like, I'll just get on stage and talk. No,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing like, we're writing original music. We're making like a spectacular variety show that's like
Is
all
there
about the
drag
internet.
involved?
There's not drag involved
Okay.
only because it takes so
It does
long
take a lot
to
of
get
time.
into drag.
Mhm.
But I think in cities where we know drag queens and other people, we're just trying to like,
Yeah.
how can we make each show like very unique? And that includes like other people coming into the
Yeah.
show, other people performing in the show. And in general, we're just doing a lot of multimedia cool performances. It's
Ooh.
called the Legends of the Internet Tour.
That's
my
awesome.
gosh.
Are you guys taking a bus?
Yeah, we got a bus.
Are you
We're
rapping
doing
it with your faces?
No, we don't want anybody to know we're in
Oh,
there. And also, we've heard that if you wrap your bus, you can't open the windows, which means when somebody poops in the bathroom, you're trapped.
Ooh.
And we have four
no, boys.
We're starting with 4 men, and then we're adding all the rest of the people with us. So, like, and we all have tummy troubles, so I
Yeah.
don't think that's a good idea.
No. Not so fun.
So, big
Wow.
summer. So, a lot of projects to
Oh my
check out.
gosh.
And I'll plug our Patreon too, because it's a
Yeah.
really good community.
I
think
feel like I
you'd
wanna
find a
join
lot of
it.
friends there.
Yeah.
It's like unbelievably supportive. I'm like, I like look into the chats. I'm like, wow, these people are so nice.
Aw, that's maybe
So
I'm not
it makes us feel good about our community
Yeah.
that they're all like super nice.
Yeah. Well, you guys have really nice comments on your videos because I also watch all your videos.
We have
if I
like
didn't tell
really
you that.
nice comments.
Yeah, people
Like,
are always
our
really nice,
community,
and
we're
I enjoy
very lucky.
reading them. You know, like no one's like gonna tell me like if it's like a I don't know, like what's the thing like when oh my god, what is the series that Zach is doing that nobody
Candid competition?
Yeah, when like who's gonna win or whatever. No one spoils it. No one tells me.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a good. He's working on a new season of Candid Competition right now. It's so funny.
I'm so excited.
It has like a story arc.
I'm really excited. We need to get him back on the podcast.
Yeah,
because him and I we were just the same person. It was a good time.
Probably.
Yeah, it was a lot of energy.
And he's like in this relationship.
Yeah.
They're not engaged yet.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be
That's going to be cute. He's definitely going to make a video.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
it's going to
into
be
that.
great.
Okay, well, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me. Executive produced by Melissa DeMonts. Camera operator Amanda Lechner. Production assistance by Julie Carley. And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso, part of the HerPod Network.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.